Karrion Kross. He's a name that a lot of people want to see pushed on WWE television. With the R-Truth situation becoming a bad one and then ultimately turning into a return for Ron Killings on WWE TV after being released, a lot of people started the We Want Truth movement. A lot of people have been on this push Karrion Kross movement as well. Everybody thought that WWE was giving up on Karrion Kross. We start to see him kind of slowly make his way back to television, but still nothing major on Monday Night Raw. A lot of people tend to think that Karrion Kross may be on his way out of WWE after rumors of his contract coming due and the fact that he may not want to be back in the WWE over lack of opportunity. What is the reason why WWE hasn't given Kross a bigger role than they have given him for the majority of this return to WWE? What if I told you there is a vicious rumor going around that the reason why they don't push him is because he won't take bumps? Yes, that is the news. That is the narrative. That is coming from Wade Keller of the PW Torch. We will talk about that today on Off the Script. Malachi Black, or Aleister Black. I don't know why I keep calling him Malachi. I wish he worked out in AEW. They're fucking clueless over there. Aleister Black. He finally may be in line for a major push on Friday Night SmackDown. And unfortunately, Chad Gable, we will be without Chad Gable on Monday night as he is required to get surgery. All this and so much more today on Off the Script. It is your Thursday, June 26, 2025. We'll start with Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross, the rumor of him not taking bumps is ridiculous. But I want to read to you what Wade Keller of the PW Torch said on his Monday Night Raw podcast. This was dated back June 16th, 10 days ago. Goes to show you how relevant Wade Keller is if they're now clipping him from 10 days ago. Wade Keller claimed that wrestlers told him as much as far as Kross not wanting to bump or not taking bumps being the reason why they're not pushing him and why he may not become a big star on the main roster. Wade Keller says this, and I quote, "I talked about this when he was all the rage in NXT coming out of TNA. I was like, wrestlers are telling me when he gets to the main roster, nobody's going to put up with the fact that he doesn't want to take bumps. He's scared to bump. He doesn't flat back bump. I don't know if he's got an injury or a concern." He goes on to say, Kross favors one side, which is something maybe being an injury. So I don't know if he has a pre-existing condition or he's just not comfortable taking bumps. I don't know. I don't have the inside story on that. But I know wrestlers who I chat with about things when I want wrestlers' insight are like, "Oh, right, Wade, you're right when you say Karrion Kross won't be a big star on the main roster. But one of the reasons you are missing out on is what you watch next with his next match. He really just doesn't take bumps." Wade Keller concluded and said, "It's not that he's slow or plodding, or he's not that tall compared to the rosters in TNA and NXT where his gimmick kind of needs to be taller than his opponent to make up for the fact that he's not creating movement. Lots of things are working against him. But all that said, I find this current character development quite delightful," he said about Karrion Kross. Now, Kross is 39 years old, has experienced a ton of support, especially recently, largely online, with fans wanting him to be a much more major part of the show. And a lot of this comes directly from his post-WrestleMania work-shoot promo on the lack of push, and then added that with the documentary that he put out on his YouTube channel, which kind of gave a brand new insight into who the man behind Karrion Kross is and what makes his brain work. It was a great watch for 45 minutes. You know, I could sit here and I could go over the fact that he doesn't wrestle enough to even warrant taking bumps. And I can go into the fact that WWE is dropping the ball, whatever the case may be. There are probably reasons beyond explanation, more than we are privy to, as to why he's not being pushed on television. I don't know how they work. I can only sit here and give you my point of view, and I can sit here and give you my opinion on the topic. The first thing that jumps off my mind is the fact that Karrion Kross has wrestled twice this year on national television. Twice. He's wrestled AJ Styles. That was, I believe, April 14th, Monday Night Raw. That was a week before WrestleMania. The other match he worked was the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. 2 matches. He's had several appearances on Main Event, which is a YouTube show or a Peacock show. I don't even know where it airs. I couldn't even tell you the last time I watched the Main Event show or match on Main Event. I think the last time I tuned into Main Event was coincidentally when they debuted Karrion Kross for the first time coming up from NXT as the NXT champion, and they gave him some dominatrix outfit and they completely butchered his entrance. It's the one time I really did tune into Main Event to see what the fuck Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard were going to do with something that Triple H had put a lot of time and effort into, and they fucked it up. If you go back and watch Karrion Kross on Main Event, he's wrestled Dragon Lee, he's wrestled Cruz del Toro, Tyler Bate. I saw clips today before I actually hit record on this video with him taking flat back bumps. Tyler Bate delivered a Michinoku driver on Karrion Kross, flat back bump. Cruz del Toro delivered a single leg dropkick. Karrion Kross took a flat back bump. All you need to do is go watch the fucking footage. This is why the internet exists. Go watch. Go research. This is automatically deemed false just by the clips that I've seen online. Now then, you're going to get some people also saying, oh, well, if you go back and watch the tape, JD from NY 206, go back and watch the tape. It's factually correct that he just doesn't take a lot of bumps, JD. I'm sorry, what am I supposed to believe when I'm staring at 2 clips as of the last month or so when he's taking flat back bumps? A lot of people don't grasp character development. You know, when Karrion Kross came in, he was the new toy for Paul Levesque. They built him up as dominant, as a challenger and then champion on NXT than anyone in NXT Black and Gold history. The man was unstoppable. The man was a monster. The man was booked like a fucking beast. People should be bumping for him. So automatically, due to the character that they gave him and the run that he was on and his presentation and the vibe that they wanted for him in the ring, everything was centered around others bumping for him. He was supposed to be the one dictating the pace. He was the one who was supposed to be methodically working a certain style. That's what he was told to do. He was working a big man style with the likes of Adam Cole and Finn Balor and Johnny Gargano and everybody else that was down there. Some people don't grasp Pro Wrestling 101. Karrion Kross does not need to go in there and start flying around like fucking Rey Fenix. He doesn't need to be going into the ring and bumping around like Penta. He works a certain methodical style, and that is what he is going to do due to his size. I don't really understand this narrative. You want another fucking, oh, I didn't really think of that, JD. That's a good point. How many times have we seen Ric Flair not take flat back bumps? The one thing, the one visual I always have when I think of Ric Flair in the ring is him going to the top rope and doing whatever he's planning to do, and it never goes off the way he wants, and people go there and stop him and slam him off the top rope. Ric Flair, for the duration of his career post-airplane crash, has never taken that move as a flat back bump. Maybe something is bothering Kross. Do we know that? Has he spoken about it personally? Did you hear it from the horse's mouth? Probably not. So whose business is it to report something like this and have it be factually incorrect when you can't even be decent enough to go ask the man, well, why is this rumor happening? Is there an injury? Is there something that happened that we don't know of? Do you care to elaborate? Did we ask him? Did we go to the source? No, we didn't. We're here speculating on the fucking fact that Wade Keller put something out there because he heard from the locker room. Ric Flair has made a career out of not taking flat back bumps off of a fucking power slam spot off the top rope or a back body drop or whatever the case may be. One of his signature spots is him fucking dancing around after taking some punishment and doing a face first bump, not even on his back. Ric Flair has made a Hall of Fame legendary career, probably in some circles the greatest of all time, without taking flat back bumps. So why are we making this into a big deal? Why? When I hear Wade Keller say, wrestlers have told me, I honestly think that this is an excuse for WWE to come up with a narrative as to why they don't want to use him. And most of the time when you hear something like Wade Keller is reporting, it's not the case, and they're just out there going on a smear campaign about Karrion Kross because the fans are now getting involved and fans' voices are more powerful than they were then, and it's starting to gain traction. Kross is out there on social media doing his own thing and pulling his own weight and starting everything online to get some more time on television, the documentary, the promo, this, that, tweets, podcast. He's doing things to remain relevant in the public eye while the company does not push him. And the fans are egging it on. Oh, we want to see him. We want Kross. Push Kross. Where's Kross? Why isn't Kross in Money in the Bank? Why isn't Kross in King of the Ring? WWE has not pushed Kross for a very specific reason, a reason that we are not privy to. But when the fans start getting involved and people on social media start getting involved, and then you see he's not being used on television, the blame is obviously going to go to WWE. And WWE and their trusted, loyal soldiers will go out there and start spreading narratives that it's his fault and not the company. That's what this is. This is a smear campaign and a narrative and a false report because the footage is there where you can see he flat back bumps. The footage is there and you know what type of character and wrestler he is. People should be bumping for him. The company does not want to be blamed for a second time this year for not pushing talent. So they will cast the blame on Kross. People will blame Kross to deflect away from WWE being the ones at blame or at fault. Makes total sense to me. Also, if Wade Keller is hearing from wrestlers and they're saying these bad things about Karrion Kross, how much of that is jealousy that Kross is relevant while being very much part-time, while others are full-time and still not getting any TV time on Monday night and Friday night? Yet Karrion Kross is more over and more wanted than some of the people backstage. Karrion Kross is a part-time wrestler. That's the way he is being portrayed. Are we making up narratives about Roman Reigns that he doesn't bump when he wrestles 3 matches per year? Because I could sit here and say the same thing. Roman doesn't take enough bumps. Roman's afraid to bump. Roman doesn't bump correctly. How the fuck do you know he can't bump unless he's on fucking television? Get the guy in a fucking ring. Get the guy in a program. Get the guy in a match. And then he'll bump. Who knows what the problem is? Unless you go and directly ask him what the fucking problem is, or if he has some back issues that he's concerned about. Then why are we making this into a thing? And with the WWE medical team, with the fucking best doctors in the world working for the company, you would think if there was a fucking problem that he wouldn't be booked in a match on Saturday against Sami Zayn in a fucking country 19 hours away on a plane. He is ready to go. There's nothing wrong with him. If he was, or if he had something wrong with him, he wouldn't be in the fucking ring wrestling. Narratives get out there due to jealousy and as a deflection from blame to WWE. Plain and simple. Don't believe the bullshit. Don't believe the nonsense. It's nothing more than excuses and jealousy as to why Kross is not on television. Alistair Black. Apparently, WWE is setting to push in a major way Alistair Black. WWE reportedly has significant plans to elevate Alistair Black on SmackDown, according to a report from PW Insider Elite paid subscription. There's been a lot of discussion within WWE creative about raising Black's profile going forward. The source cited in the report are the same ones who previously indicated that Damian Priest was earmarked for a move to the upper card on Friday night, a prediction that came to fruition. The desired push for Black is reportedly due to the company being happy with both his in-ring work and his merchandise sales since return. The backstage sentiment is reflected in Black's recent booking. He has been interacting with several main event personalities on SmackDown and has not lost a singles match since his return to the company in May. The report states that if all goes according to plan, fans can expect to see Black utilized even more in central storylines in the coming weeks and in the coming months. Good. I was wondering what was taking so long. So I read this and I say, finally, and I read this and report this to you guys via PW Insider Elite and say, okay, looking back at it, WWE didn't want to throw him in our face and make up for lost time like that. They wanted to see what the reaction would be. They wanted to see what he would bring to the table after 5 years away, after fucking being stagnant under Tony Khan and in AEW. They wanted to see if he was going to come on in and be ready to work, have a sense of urgency, and be happy to be back instead of coming on in and just being grateful that they gave him a job. And anybody can come on in and be lazy, right? They didn't want that. They wanted to see if he was ready to take the ball being back, happy to be back, happy to work, knowing that he was fucking absolutely miscast and misused for 5 years. So they waited, and now they're seeing it. This is more than enough time. We're going into July now. More than enough time to see him on television to get that vibe of, all right, now we can take it to the next level. Excellent. Seemingly looks like they're setting something up with him and R-Truth. Looks like it could be a heel turn for Alistair Black, which I think would be great. The one thing and the one recommendation I would make for Black is sometimes these creepy, brooding, dark gimmicks are not relatable. I get the vibe. I love the vibe. I love the entrance. I love the music. I think he's fantastic. But I think sometimes they do too much with the dark, brooding gimmicks and characters that it doesn't resonate with the audience. They don't know how to react. I do think that they have already miscast him, and I hope that they realize that may be a mistake. I think coming in as a babyface might have been a good idea, but I do think now, seeing what we're seeing on television and the lack of crowd reaction, I do think that it would probably be best for him to be a heel. And working against R-Truth, who's someone that is beloved by everybody, I do think that will work out better for Aleister Black. So I'm excited to see that. I think a feud with Jacob Fatu is on the horizon. I think a feud with Cody Rhodes. I would love to see that. I would love to. I've been getting spam calls. Spam calls nonstop, man. Has anybody else had this fucking problem? Spam calls fucking at least 5 times a day. I can't stand it. Aleister Black versus Cody Rhodes. I'd like to see something like that. Maybe LA Knight if he's still on SmackDown. I think that would be great. There's a ton of people for him to work with. Damian Priest, babyface heel Aleister Black. I think that would be great. So we'll see what happens, man. I'm excited to see what they do with Aleister Black. Finally going to be in line for a major push on Friday Night SmackDown. And Chad Gable. Unfortunately, we will be without Chad Gable on Monday Night Raw. The injury bug bites Chad Gable. Chad Gable was sidelined with an injury, as Bodyslam.net reported this week. He was effectively written off WWE TV, as PWInsider.net reported that Gable is slated for surgery in early July. Unfortunately, Fightful Select also learned that Grande Americano has sustained a very similar injury. We've heard that it was sustained in the same way that Gable was, but was a total coincidence. Get even more with the Grande Americano character, man. I would keep someone in the mask and have Grande Americano continue to work on WWE television. Now, I don't know how they could find somebody that has the same body type and features as Chad Gable, the same height as Chad Gable, but it could be done if they really want to fucking put their heads together. I think that would be great. Keep the gimmick going and have Michael Cole continue to say that's Chad Gable, and it's not Chad Gable. I don't know. But all joking aside, I don't think they'll end up doing that. But all joking aside, I do think that Chad Gable missing from the mid-card on Monday Night Raw is going to be a big hole to fill. I don't know how they fill it. I wish him a speedy recovery. I hope it's not serious. I hope it's like 2-3 months. I hope it's not something like Liv Morgan where we're talking about 7-8 months out with injury. I hope that's not the case, man. He was in line for a major push. I wanted to see something with Grande Americano play out with Penta or the Luchadors. They haven't really finished that up or tied up loose ends with that. Something needs to be done now because that is a big loss on Monday Night Raw. Do they end up moving LA Knight now, as reports stated last week, over to Monday Night Raw quicker? Do they end up moving Carmelo Hayes over to Monday Night Raw to fill that heel gap on Monday night now left by Chad Gable? I don't know. Do they call somebody up from NXT? I do think something needs to be done here. Maybe some moves, trades of some sort between Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis. But that's a terrible move, man. That's a terrible situation. Gable is fucking... I love Chad Gable. He is so great. And I hope that when he comes back, man, that WWE honestly takes him seriously and puts some fucking gold around his waist. Whether it's the IC title, the United States Championship, something. Something needs to be done to get that guy some gold, man, because he has more than earned his spot in WWE. It would be very difficult for you to go out there and find anybody that has worked at the caliber of Chad Gable since his... I don't want to say his career over the span of his career, but since he's signed an extension with WWE, he has just fucking killed it. That Vikingo match at Worlds Collide should be it. I don't know what else they really need from the guy. Hopefully he gets some championship gold when he comes back, man, but that's going to be a big spot to fill, and that is terrible news for WWE. Thank you guys very much for all your support. If you enjoyed today's upload, please hit that thumbs up down below. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of the Karrion Kross situation. Are you pro-Kross? Do you want to see Kross on television? Or are you somebody that just doesn't give a shit and doesn't see what everybody else sees in Karrion Kross? That's your homework. Leave me a comment down below. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes right here on today's Off the Script. Go and check out all the great content on the channel. A couple of extras this week. We were live on Monday for Raw. Post-show, Solid Monster and I celebrated 100 episodes of Tuesday Night Titans on Tuesday, and last night Jesse and I were live covering what was a very boring AEW Dynamite. And the next time you see me, we'll be live tomorrow for SmackDown. No time yet. Gonna try and watch it early, but if anything, I will give you guys an update on social media, and we will go live after Friday Night SmackDown live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. And please hit that subscribe button down below and turn on the bell for all notifications. Have a great Thursday night, guys, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow live after Friday Night SmackDown on Off the Script.